Hello and welcome. This is Travis. Today we're going to do another draw card. Today's card is going to be a Series 2 Rogue. I don't actually have the card. I'm going to post up try to fit an image right here of it, done by Art Adams. And I'm just going to do my version of it and also have fun with that Sentinel background that it displays. Before I go into the tools I use for today, please go ahead, like this video if you enjoyed this content, and please, if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. Thanks. Okay, first tool up is, as usual, my handy dandy number 2 pencil. There we go. A basic eraser. Used to say Prismacolor on it. A pen eraser, adjustable. Standard ruler. A template, but I use as a straight edge mostly. My set of Prismacolor fine point pens. So you have the pens range from 01, 03, 05, 08. Alright, next up is a set of Faber-Castell pens. Castell, I guess you would say. These are new to me. Brush and it's a brush pen and a soft chisel. The brush pen, just to kind of show this off, it's a felt tip and gives you kind of a brush-like quality, hence the name when you're using it. I'm still not the best with this, but that's why I have these videos, also to practice and try and get better using traditional tools. And of course, you have a soft chisel. This is more like a calligraphy type of pen, but I'm going to use it to kind of get into different areas. If I need a solid thick line, I might use this because it's a little bit more steady than the brush. Just a note about these two. If you like to color in your drawings after and use marker, that will smudge this ink that the Faber-Castell pens use. Even if you let it dry for a couple of days, it's still going to smudge at that brush stroke or whatever you put in. If you put in solid patches of ink with these, the markers, your color markers, will smear that. Okay. Oh, almost forgot. I think I do use a French curve in this one as well. Just to get perfect curved lines. And of course, the Sakura Jelly Roll pen works very well. You've seen me use it, but it's great for corrections or if you wanted to add some other elements on top of solid black areas. You know, this is the pen to use. I really like it, and it comes in handy, especially if you're trying to make your art piece pop. It can add in some texture to the solid black areas. All right. So I already have my frame built. Now I'm kind of sketching in the Sentinel, using basic shapes to kind of get the hand just right, and also using shapes to build up Rogue's body. It's going to be a little bit different than, say, the pose that Art Adams used in the original card. And just trying to get these arms right. I know that on the right-hand side, that arm is going to change a couple of times during this video. What I'll do is, after a while, if I get indecisive, I'll just move on to something else, and then I'll come back to it. Instead of wasting time just trying to get that arm right. And I finally get to where I'm pretty happy with that. So now I'm going in, sketching in a little bit more anatomy. Still can't decide on that dumb arm. And what you can't see off camera, I am using a reference for Rogue's costume and the Sentinel as well. So now I'm going in, gonna clean this up and draw in a lot of details. It's gonna be the 90s version of Rogue, the early 90s version of Rogue, which is the version I grew up with from comics and the cartoon show. So just kind of getting a basic face in there. I am going to go back eventually and kind of clean it up because I'm not going to be happy with it. I can tell you right now after looking at this. And now I'm going in and adding in all the detail for the Sentinel and breaking up the hand into like kind of robotic segments. Now, even though I'm pretty satisfied the way the Sentinel's face is turning out, you're going to see in a little bit that it's actually going to be a little bit too big. It doesn't make a lot of sense. His head is a little too big for what that perspective is. It should be a little bit farther back since the hand is so out in front of him, outreached. Not even the word. But yeah, as you can see, I just took it down some, adjusting some of the aspects of his face, kind of fit what it needs to be. Now cleaned up that face a little bit. Add in a little bit more shadow too to kind of figure things out for when I start inking. So go in and lighten up some of that pencil, and now I use a Faber-Castell brush pen that I showed earlier for the contour line. I wasn't the biggest fan of how that came out, but it's all practice really. So now I'm using the 03 and the 01s just to add in different details. The 03 is probably going to be like the detail on the jackets. 01 is probably going to be like facial features that I'm going to be using that pen for. So now I'm just going to use that 03 to kind of hatch in some hair, show out where the highlight would be in her hair. And I'm now using the Faber-Castell brush again to do the contour lines of the hand and the forearm there. And then I'm going to actually choose to use a 08 fine point pen for the head and some of the shoulder. For the contour line there. And the reason I chose to do that is because the closer something is, the thicker the line weight should be. And the farther away, the thinner the line should be. It kind of gives a depth of field. So that's why I chose to do that. So that's why I had that thicker line on that hand and the forearm there. So now I'm just playing around, putting in some of those background elements. Getting rid of all my my pencil right now, probably with the exception of the background, just so I can kind of keep in mind what I was originally thinking. Now I'm adding in the solid black areas. So now I'm using the soft chisel to actually go in and do the heavier areas where I need solid black. You might have noticed I use one of my fine point pens to actually color in some of the smaller areas, some of the little corners that I couldn't reach properly with the soft chisel. And another thing that I'm doing with the Sentinel that's going to help create some more separation between the foreground, which is Rogue, and him, the Sentinel being like a middle ground, is adding a lot of extra kind of worn detail to the Sentinel with the 0-1 pin. And how that's achieved is that Rogue, it doesn't have a lot of detail to her. By adding a lot of the extra detail to the Sentinel, that's going to cause a little bit more separation and allow her to kind of pop in this total piece. Now I'm using the Faber-Castell brush pen again, kind of make it look like fire, some kind of explosion in the background. Also creating those Sentinel silhouettes in the background. Using the jelly roll to do some corrections, also to draw in some features, some like mechanical features into the Sentinel face. Also using the jelly roll pen to do kind of a hatching, to kind of break up that black silhouette behind them, and to add some kind of like a glowing effect in the Sentinel eyes. Now I'm trying my hand again at drawing, actually doing the text. Going in with the Sharpie now, dropping in the solid black areas. Okay, so I'm just going to be finishing up very soon. Drawing in the final detail of the Sentinel. Doing a few more corrections. You might notice I had the Jubilee card present, just to kind of understand what the trade dress suit should be. Okay, let's go wrap up this card. Please make sure to like this video. Also, if you're not already, make sure you're a subscriber. See you next time. Thanks.